Minecraft is known for endless possibilities. It's not just a saying, the game is truly infinite. You can build an Eiffel Tower replica, set up an automatic potato farm, or make a trinitrotoluene trap for your friend. It's this wild freedom that makes the game so addictive. But like everything in life, it also leaves room for things that maybe would be better locked away in a basement with 7 locks and duct tape around it. Freedom is amazing, but it can also allow some questionable ideas. Jenny mod has long been the game's most controversial mod, not just recently. As everyone knows, Mojang ended up officially banning the Jenny mod. In my opinion, it was more than fair. It makes no sense to include explicit adult content in a game mostly intended for children. But now we have a new plot twist. The mod might be coming back. If you want to follow this story with me, from its strange start and downfall, through the ban to its comeback, stay tuned, this is the right video. Today's topic is, yes, controversial, but it's worth remembering that not everything in Minecraft is chaos and confusion. Minecraft Education Edition has been used in schools worldwide to teach math, programming, history, and biology. But as we know, not everything is perfect. The same block you use to build a school is the same block used to make extremist symbols, inappropriate references, nudity, and all sorts of rotten things. For example, 2b2t, the game's oldest anarchy server, is legendary for having no rules. If you happen to go in there, in practice, you'll end up running into toxic behavior, bullying, and endless harassment. Curiously, even in lawless servers like 2b2t, punishment has occurred when things went too far. A notable episode occurred in 2016 with the famous attack on YouTuber The Camping Rusher. On June 1st of that year, he released a video playing on 2b2t which attracted an absurd number of subscribers to the server. The thing is, on one side, there was a cleaner audience, newcomers just wanting to experience an anarchic server, while on the other side, there was a bunch of veterans who started a war of bullying, threats, and even attempts at doxing. It was essentially harassment of new players, and it continued beyond that. And because of all the backlash outside the 2b2t bubble, the staff intervened and issued bans to try to save the situation. In other words, even in a place that sells itself as anarchic and without rules, when chaos disrupts the server, someone pulls the handbrake. And the same thing should be true for game modifications. If you think the problem ends with chaotic servers, you're mistaken. Because, in addition to toxicity in the game, another issue began to appear: mods and adult content linked to Minecraft. Recently, animation and mod production on this theme has surged, once again sparking controversy. And in the middle of this scenario, the most controversial case of all emerged: the Jenny mod. This mod basically allows you to create more provocative non-player characters, who not only walk around the world, but can also interact intimately with the player, as long as the player pays the amounts the non-player character charges. In other words, the mod simulates the work of a job within a game that is officially aimed at children. Even worse, it could normalize dangerous behaviors and attract online predators, as minors are exposed to this without any filter. Not to mention the serious risks: addiction, impact on cognitive development, and early exposure to situations that shouldn't be in a block building game. The remaining question is, where did this idea originate, how was it developed, and where is it going? Well, the origin of all this can be traced back to November 2020, when a content creator named Shonuri TV made a poll on Twitter asking if he should create a mod with 18+ female NPCs. Guess what? The community didn't just support it, they practically begged him. That's when the project began, originally called Shnuri TV's Sex mod, but it soon became famous worldwide as the legendary Jenny mod. The game's namesake Jenny wasn't entirely Shunri's creation. Since 2018, she was created by artist and animator 3D Slippery T, known for not safe for work Minecraft-inspired content. Jenny starred in several animations, most notably the series Jenny's Odd Adventures, where she tried to beat the game but encountered enemies with unconventional proposals. And it was this aesthetic that ended up migrating to the mod and established Jenny as an icon both inside and outside the game. After its creation, the Jenny mod received regular updates documented in devlogs from version 1.2 beta to 1.9. I won't show those videos for obvious reasons, but I can summarize the main events. In version 1.2 beta, the mod received basic updates, bug fixes, and support for the pirated version. If you learned while poor, you'll still face controversy. Besides the adjustment in the generation of specific MOD structures, yes, the MOD also has its own builds scattered across the map like alternative villages. But the real highlight is the new additions. It was in this update that the gothic non-player character Ellie was introduced, and unlike Jenny, she has a dominant behavior, basically pulling the player to bed on her own. She appeared mainly in unique MOD structures in taiga forests. They also added the libido potion, which isn't the official name, but the effect is simple if you use it. Etijin Jo. If you use it on Jenny, she does everything for free, but with Ellie, the result is immediate, with her approaching you right away. Besides that, some variations of slimes, much curvier than they should be, were also present in the MOD.
I even added the slime girl, but I couldn't have any interaction with her. I don't know if it's bugged or if she doesn't have an animation.
And to top it off, Schnurry TV announced that he was developing new poses in quotes for Jenny and Ellie. I won't go into details since I want to keep monetization. If this video has ads, I succeeded. The mod added a companionship system in version 1.3 beta. NPCs followed the player home and attacked mobs OX or any creature the player targeted. They could even ride horses. It's times like this you realize the developer was skilled but used his talents for evil. He could have invested his efforts in more respectable and appropriate work, but no, with great power comes great responsibility, and he used it for evil.
You can change the dialogue and skin. In fact, there's this option here, which seems to be for those who understand commands. Yeah, here you can actually add commands and even put titles on the options.
Version 1.4 saw major progress, adding 3 new NPCs to the mod. Bia, who was basically a Care Bear, appearing in cozy houses in the forests. Ellie, a genie who would only appear if you found, unsurprisingly, a lamp. And the bee girls who flew around with their own interactions. But here's the irony, the bees also carried chests for you, working almost like walking sugars. Schnurry TV had creative, original ideas but used them in the most twisted way possible. Then, in 1.5.1, the craziness hit multiplayer? That's right, now the libido potion works on NPCs and lets you take the form of a character. The result, another player could come and, quote, interact. Yes, it's exactly what you're thinking, and no, it doesn't get any less bizarre when you think about the context. Version 1.6 introduced Luna, a cat girl. If it seemed the mod had already crossed the line, this version went even further. Luna appeared on special boats introduced in the update and featured unique mechanics. She fished alone, discarding anything not a fish, effectively practicing automatic farming. Besides that, she would scare creepers, since those mobs run away from ocelots. Again, good ideas, terrible implementation. Version 1.9.0 was the Jenny mod's biggest update ever. It added a character creation menu for customizing NPCs and included graphical improvements with lighting adjustments similar to a mini shader. It was the mod's technical peak, a mix of advanced customization systems with visual features that managed to impress even the most skeptical players.
Moving on to survival mode, we were able to have more interesting interactions. Help! In the second option we have which makes her just as she was born.
Remember, the first Jenny mod devlog was published on YouTube. He actually thought releasing this content on the world's biggest platform was a good idea. The video was deleted soon after, but the damage was already done. Modi's fame soared because of his controversy. The Jenny mod grew until its code reached 10% the size of Minecraft's code. This shows the project's dedication or obsession level. In a short time, it became world famous, spreading through forums, communities, and of course ending up in the hands of major content creators. Even a major streamer like iShowSpeed tested the mod live.
Oh my god! What is this? What's happening?
But the result was always the same. The video was removed, the live stream deleted, and YouTube applied sanctions for clear policy violations against adult material. With all the popularity and chaos, Mojang and Microsoft quickly decided to hit the brakes. In May 2023, the company intervened directly, issuing copyright notices against the website that hosted the official download of the Jenny mod. And the game's end user license agreement, the contract between consumer and company, doesn't allow that. The creator knew battling Microsoft meant a likely lawsuit, so he didn't appeal. He ended the project and began calling himself a former developer of 18+ Minecraft mods on social media. Almost like a war medal, except with a sad emoji on his resume. Until then, this was one of the few mods so controversial, it needed direct action from Microsoft. Schnurry.television.com is now only accessible via the Wayback Machine, like a digital museum. But then comes the part that nobody expected, a comeback. Sometime later, Schnurry Television himself decided to get rid of the Jenny mod and sold the source code. The new owner, a Twitter user named TrollMastercard, didn't bother to change the approach at all. The content is explicit and intense, just as everyone expected. The project even got a new name, Fabcraft, which is basically a direct continuation. But, well, to be honest, the information is pretty scarce. Since being a globally known MOD, everyone tells a different story, everyone says something different, and it's not possible to verify with 100% accuracy. What we do know is that, even if slowly, the MOD did come back and continued in a much more closed community. And that's where a problem comes in. In a Reddit post, I found a discussion where people said that to get access to the official MOD download, you had to join a specific Discord server to go through an identity verification. Having this barrier alone caused the MOD's popularity to drop sharply. People lacked the patience or time for so much bureaucracy, especially with a mod that was controversial from the beginning. To top it off, people are afraid of Mojang. No one leading the official project wants to risk getting sued. So because of that, my friends, an uncontrolled distribution of the mod started on the internet. Several people who aren't part of the official project developers created lots and lots of websites with every possible domain. jennysmod.com, minecraftjennyifmod.com, jennyifmodifminecraft.com. Anyway, people made several websites, people made several videos, people made several discords, all of this to distribute the mod in a kind of pirated way. Downloading it can expose people to viruses and even more harmful content. And it practically got to the point where no company will be able to simply erase the project from history because it spread so much. On YouTube, searching for JennyMod, filtering by view count, and choosing the latest videos reveals ones with 2 million views. With 1 million views, with hundreds of thousands of views, all with JennyMod and absurd things featured on the thumbnail. Man, it's just bizarre. I thought this whole story had kind of gone underground, kind of forgotten around 2023, 2024. In 2025, 2026, some MOD videos have hundreds of thousands of views. The MOD returned and is now popular in content production, continuing early exposure of children to 18+ material. Something that can create loopholes and even greatly equip ill-intentioned people. He runs a channel with 32,000 subscribers posting near-daily videos with very suggestive thumbnails, playing mods and mod variations. And the creators who made money through models there, over 18, not safe for work models for Minecraft, they're still performing well. On a platform as big as YouTube, in a game as big as Minecraft, they couldn't stop this kind of creation, and the business still has huge visibility, probably moving a lot of money even after 4 or 5 years of all the controversy. In the end, this case is a great example of how the huge freedom in Minecraft can be used for the wrong side. In 2016, Selbit released a video exposing shocking events in the Minecraft community. Most stories featured gore, nudity, and sensitive topics, often involving minors. Back then, nearly everything you posted was monetized because the platform had different policies. That only started to change the following year, after the infamous adpocalypse, when companies began to boycott YouTube en masse. Things still seem the same. Consistency, quality, innovation, and networking all take time and can be boring. To achieve success quickly, follow what people have done since humanity began. Lots of nudity, blood, and non-stop betting site ads. Yeah guys, what Selbit did in 2016 was a cleanup, but the community is still far from being free of this. The lesson here is pretty straightforward. You can have fun, create amazing stories, and explore the full potential of the game, but you can also cross boundaries. I'm sure there are comments asking for the link or download. Since I played the mod for hours to make this script, I'll leave it for you all. The link is the one on the screen, instagram.com/lmine77. Go check it out, and we're in this together.